He is the Baseball Hall of Famer, one of 16 members of the 3,000 Strikeout Club. 19 years in the major leagues. Pleased to welcome on the Rich Eisen Show, Ferguson Jenkins. How are you, Ferguson?
Hey, Rich. How you doing? Great.
I'm doing great for having you here. Ferguson, it's interesting. You played for the Phillies, Cubs, Rangers, Red Sox, and Cubs second time. So we had a fan of this show from the United Kingdom say, I don't know much baseball. I want to get into it. Suggest a team for me. So I'm asking you, a Baseball Hall of Famer, for somebody who's completely new to the game, which team would you suggest to them to follow?
Well, the big cities are represented, by certain ball clubs. The Yankees are in New York. Mm-hmm. The Dodgers are in L.A. Chicago has the Cubs and the White Sox. Mm-hmm. I just think that if somebody comes over here for the first time and wants to look at a good organization, I think those three or even four.
Okay.
You're talking Atlanta with Ted Turner was a great organization for years.
Okay, so go with those teams to start off.
I would, yes, okay. Right. They're gonna put a good product on the field, and they've got really, really good ball players.
Okay, Ferguson Jenkins joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. So, what'd you think of that brouhaha that happened in baseball a couple of days ago between the Rangers and the Blue Jays? Ferguson, did you?
Well, I think that players that take it into their own hands, a lot of times within years you could get traded and be on the same ball club. So now you've got to make amends for something stupid that you did on the field. The second baseman didn't get hit. The slide went through. He said he slid a little late, but to get hit his last time at bat, I think that was probably ordered by the bench, maybe one of the coaches or the manager, to take it upon this young man. I don't think he'd been in the big leagues that long, and unfortunately, he was the brunt of what's going on.
Were you ever told to hit somebody?
Well, it was kind of an unwritten rule. If one of your players got hit, especially in the National League, you could take it out on the pitcher within an inning or so, or you wanted to get the first guy, the next inning, the first guy to come to the plate, and pretty much they knew what was going to happen.
So were you ever the recipient of the justice?
The other Rocher, from time to time, would walk by you and say, hey, this guy deserves to go down. Leo and Billy Martin the same way. So you just went ahead and did it.
Now, but when
sometimes you didn't hit him, you just knocked him down.
Right, but now in this day and age, that seems to be, viewed as a caveman type way of handling the matter.
Well,
Ferguson.
When you have orders from the ball club, I just think that you go ahead and execute it, regardless of what happens. A lot of times, you don't get into a big fight like that. The guy hits at the plate, he pretty much knows he's going to get hit. But for somebody to take somebody out at second and then the fight starts, that's kind of unruly.
So what would you say is the worst bit of unwritten rules that got broken? Was it the bat toss to begin with, the fact that they hit him in his last at-bat, or the fact that he slid late after we thought maybe this thing was already handled after he took one in the ribs, or the punch? Which is the worst one? Which is the most flagrant violation, Ferguson Jenkins?
Oh, the fight, the punch at second base, by far is the worst, because of the fact that guys are going to flip their bats. You see that all the time. Guys are going to slide hard, but for somebody to go after another player and punch him in the face, as I said, in a couple of seasons, they might be teammates. Now you got to apologize. You got to do something that is part of what the game's all about. Apology sometimes is what you see happen.
Well, didn't Bud Harrelson and Pete Rose go at it in a similar manner?
They did. Oh, this was back in the 60s, a hard slide at second base. You see those slides hard a lot of times because of the fact that the shortstop and the second baseman are vulnerable a lot of times on ground balls.
Ferguson Jenkins joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, the Cubs are 28-10, Ferguson. And you know that fan base. They're fired up right now. They think this might finally be it in exercising some of the ghosts, including the famed Black Cat game of 1969 that you were pitching in. Do you think the Cubs have what it takes to get it finally done in Chicago this year?
They've got a good young nucleus. So they've got a good farm system. Theo Epstein is at the helm, being the general manager. Got a great owner. I just think that what's happened now, people maybe have made predictions too early. You know, they played a third of the season. You got to play all the way till the end of September. 162 ball games, 2 wild cards, and then you got the playoffs. So it'd be nice to say, hey, it's going to happen if it's in August. But this might be a little early right now.
Well, what happened that day in Shea when the cat got loose and wound up in your dugout?
Somebody, I won't mention a pitcher's name, but had the ground crew release a kitten. It wasn't a cat. It was really, really a young cat. And you know, when you see those feral cats, man, they take right off. You can't catch them.
Mm-hmm.
This cat just wandered in front of our dugout because they threw it to the third base side, and Ron Santo was the on-deck hitter, and Billy was the hitter at the time. And it was kind of an unfortunate thing that happened. And right after that, we stopped scoring runs. We were averaging like 5-6 runs a game, and then we went down to 1, 2, and then none. So I think it worked in that respect.
Well, when you see the video of it, they're clearly waving no one's waving the cat away. No one moved.
No, they just watched it. They just watched it. Unfortunately, somebody could have did something, but they were kind of just not mesmerized. They're just looking at this young kitten that was walking, and then it disappeared into the stands. That was it.
So somebody on the Mets released that cat on purpose?
I believe somebody, possibly one of the pitchers, decided, because the ground crew comes out behind home plate.
Right.
There's twin doors. So if somebody opened the door at the start of the inning, the 5th, 6th inning, and threw this little kitten out on the third base side, and it walked in front of the Cub dugout.
Well, it's 46 years, Ferguson. Come on, give me the name of the pet. Give me the name. Who do you think put that cat out there?
Hey, I would say the late Tug McGraw. Or maybe even Tom Seaver. But it's hard to say. But a practical joker would probably be McGraw.
McGraw? You think Tug took it and threw it out? You think Seaver? Seaver
Possibly. Somebody. I think the pitching staff decided that, hey, let's do something that's going to disrupt the Cubs, and it was like top of the 6th, the top of the 7th inning when this happened.
And you guys really did believe it was bad luck when it all came down to it?
I don't think the guys really believe that, but unfortunately it happened. As I said, we were averaging 4 or 5, maybe 6 runs a game, and right after that, our run production stopped, which is kind of unfortunate.
Well, I guess the way that Jake Arrieta's throwing the ball right now and the way that the rest of the team is going, maybe that this could finally be the year, Ferguson.
It could be. They've got a good pitching staff. I mean, Arrieta's not the only guy on the team. You know, Lieber's there. I mean, Lester.
Right.
There were so many different guys. Hendricks. So they've got a decent pitching staff. The bullpen is pretty strong, and they've got strong hitting. So, you know, it's a long season. Let's hope all these guys stay healthy. They lost Carl Schwarber, second game of the season.
It's unbelievable.
A collision in the outfield, which is unfortunate. You know, really not an outfielder. Collided with Fowler in center field, and it's really too bad. I mean, he was going to be part of the mix. This young man is quite a hitter.
Well,
and unfortunately, he won't have that opportunity to really show what he can do.
Hey, Ferguson, thanks for calling in. I've been a big fan of yours for years. Thank you for taking the time.
Hey, my pleasure, guys. Okay.
Take
care.
Ferguson Jenkins.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.